every 20 minutes. It's your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your mid-morning forecast update for the state of Alabama. And take a look at our Skywatcher picture this morning. We've got a nice view there from Casey Waters in Ino, which is down in Coffee County. So you can see a few clouds overhead, but mainly blue skies there as the morning starts off. And another beautiful morning across the state. You can see, take a look at our satellite and radar. Again, there's hardly any clouds to speak of over the state. Just a few down in the southeast, a few up in the north, but generally full sunshine as we start off and no rain to speak of, continuing to stay dry, as has been the theme here lately. As we take a look at around our sky cams, you can see that backed up there with the sky cams as well, starting in the south. Dauphin Island, beautiful view there looking towards the north. It's 81 degrees with the dew point around 71 degrees. Moving further towards the north, you can see that we have in Fairhope, nice view here of the pier. It's 81 over 67 there. The winds are currently calm right now, so not quite as breezy today as what we've seen in the last couple of days. Up in Abbeville, the temperature's 72 degrees, dew point still 55, so we still have some dry air in place, even in the southeast part of the state, which is made for some nice, pleasant, relatively cool mornings out there. Mount Cheaha, beautiful view here. It's 70 degrees over 56 degrees there, a little bit of a east-northeasterly breeze, so just a beautiful view there. And then taking a look at Bald Rock, interesting thing with this is we're actually looking back towards Mount Cheaha from Bald Rock right here. And you can see the temperatures at 71 degrees and similar conditions atop Bald Rock as Mount Cheaha with a nice dry air still in place there. And then up in the northwestern part of the state, Florence, beautiful start there, 76 degrees over the University of North Alabama. Dew point is at 61. So what we're watching for today and the rest of this week, it's going to be dry, continuing dry through this weekend and into early next week, outside of maybe a scattered shower or two possible in the northern part of the state for tomorrow. Hotter afternoons, so we expect to continue to gradually ramp up the temperatures in the afternoons, and so we expect we'll be in the low 90s Saturday and Sunday. Could get into the mid 90s in some spots as we get into early next week. Low temperatures so far though this morning, again, pretty pleasant in a lot of spots in the northeast. It was 57 in Anniston and Gadsden and Coleman. Got down to 64 degrees in Dothan, got down to 59 in Eufaula. So again, even the southeastern part of the state got a little bit of cool start there. Demopolis actually 60 as well. And then down towards the south, only got down to 72 degrees in Gulf Shores. As far as our Skywatcher reports, similar story there. Steve Jones and Heflin hit 54. This is the lowest one that I saw there. Vic Bell got down to 55 in Black Creek. Jake Argo and Calera got to 59. Jeff Drake and Bessemer 61. And Lynn Lambert down in Red Level got to 65 degrees. So again, fairly nice start there. And temperatures have warmed up into the 70s and 80s already at 76 degrees in Anniston, Alexander City. Got up to 77 degrees in Dothan. And you can see we're already at 80 degrees in Monroeville, Chatham, and Mobile. And we expect as we get into the afternoon to continue to warm up. As you would expect, we'll get into the mid to upper 80s, expecting 87 degrees in Birmingham. Could hit 90 degrees in Tuscaloosa. Also expect we could see that down in Mobile. There's a few other places that we certainly could hit 90, and we expect to see more of that as we get into the latter part of the week and into the weekend. This water vapor look here kind of tells the story as far as the dry air in place. So we still have a good bit of the orange, which is the dry air in place over the area. Getting a little bit more moisture starting to kind of push in. We'll have a little upper level disturbance come through tomorrow. But you can see down towards the south, we still got this stalled boundary and a little low there over the Gulf, producing showers and thunderstorms that are moving over the peninsula of Florida, but are not quite making it into South Alabama. However, we still have a few coastal alerts around due to that sort of disturbed weather down in the Gulf. Now, that looks like the small craft advisory has been expired mainly to the west. You still have some of that near 30A and Panama City Beach. So again, just kind of a little, still sort of, high waves out there in that part of the area, at least moderate. But then we still have the rip current statement, which is the blue right there, which covers the rest of our beaches. And again, that just means for the rest of the day today, just want to take it easy out there because there still could be some rip currents, although looks like it's probably not quite to the level that we might have seen yesterday. Looking at our future cast again, it stays pretty quiet out there for today, expecting just a few clouds, mainly sunshine as we get into the evening. And then as we move into tomorrow, some of the models trying to show a couple of scattered showers. Again, we're going to have a little upper level, mid-level disturbance that will rotate around the upper level trough that's over us. So that could spark a couple of showers. Now, moisture is pretty meager. We don't have a lot to work with there. So very well that won't happen. You may just see an increase in some clouds, but don't be surprised if you get a sprinkle or two in the northern part of the state tomorrow evening, but nothing significant, nothing that's going to make any difference as far as the dryness that we see out there. as we move in, taking a look at the kind of the upper level pattern, again, this is it right here as we get into Thursday evening. So this is this little dip in the trough that's going to help to potentially spark off those couple of showers potentially, but that's what's happening there. And then we'll see the pattern continue to warm up after that. As far as our tropical update, just a real quick look here. Again, we are at the peak of tropical season and we see nothing in the way of development chances from the National Hurricane Center. So really just quiet across the board. Nothing in the Caribbean, nothing outside that stalled front in the Gulf, which is pretty remarkable. And looking at our upper level pattern again, as far as the warmth, as we move into the weekend, again, you can see this ridge building in from the west so that we're kind of on the east side of it as we get into the weekend. And so that's going to help to continue our warming trend as this trough sort of gets kicked out by that ridge moving in and helps to warm us up. So it's still going to be feeling like summer as we move through the next 7 days. You can see here we expect to get mid 80s, upper 80s over the next couple of days in North Alabama, and then into the 90s over the weekend. The good thing, though, that's not quite as summer-like are those low temperatures, which will be down in the 60s because we'll still have relatively dry air in place. So the good thing is that the heat index value shouldn't be too bad in the afternoon, even though it'll be kind of hot. And as we look at South Alabama, again, just a spot shower possible along the southern part of the state, but it really honestly looks pretty dry down there as well. And again, we see changes, or we see the temperatures elevating up into the low 90s as we get into the weekend and early next week. But again, the lows are not too bad for this time of year. Well, that is your Alabama forecast update. We'll have another one coming up later on the Alabama Weather Network.